Hello YouTube, how you doing today? This is Spirit of 7, gonna do a proper walk around of my 1999 Yamaha V-Star 1100C. Now, I got a hell of a deal on this bike, guaranteed. It did come with a windshield. I removed that. I left the brackets just because, well, they're secured in with the fork pinch bolts here and here. The dust caps are not staying on. Alright. Now, this bike, based on what I've read, is pushing mid to high 60s on horsepower, but over 80s in torque. That's pretty beastly for a cruiser. She is very dirty right now. The bags came with. Seats are aftermarket. This is the custom model, not the classic. And cosmetically, the differences between the two bikes are the front fender, the rear fender, and the forks. That's cosmetically about it. Which I'm pretty sure they're completely interchangeable, considering they are virtually identical. Now, a few problems that I've read that people had are oil filter, because it's located behind this cover. So they'll buy a oil filter relocator kit that puts it down there. The brake pedal is like way too high for me. So I'm going to have to adjust that, drop it down maybe about to there. Because putting my toe up there, it cramps up my leg to keep from pressing the brake. Dual disc brakes in the front. I'm not too sure about the spoked wheels, but it's got them in both. Disc brake in the rear. 4.5 gallon main tank. Well, there is no reserve, so I don't know why I said main tank. I guess it's because I'm used to dealing with my shadow. The bib is going to come off. If I'm going to have a bib on it, it's going to have a pocket. That way I can throw my phone in there and call it good. Brand new rubber. I mean, it doesn't get much more new than that. When there's no sign of chicken strips, you got to be careful. Looks like a few miles on it, but about there. Yeah. Headlights a little on the small side. I have seen some large risers for this thing, but I'd have to have different lines put in for like my brake calipers and throttle, choke, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's a beautiful bike for being 16 years old, yeah. And it's got some serious grunt to it, as you saw in my other videos. I'm wondering how a tail tidy would look. Relocate the blinkers. Move the license plate to a axle mount. And get rid of all that plastic underneath the tail light. Do have this blank spot right here, but that's okay. I can find something to put there eventually. Now, at first glance, the rear fender and front fender both look like they're metal, especially seeing that wear spot. But it turns out they're actually plastic, which isn't bad. They're good flexible plastic too, as you can see. got a hell of a deal on this bike. Now, there are a few miles on it, not excessive for this model, especially considering its age. $22,727, and I've put over 50 miles on it already just since I got it. I have seen some modifications to the gas cap. This, even though it's tightened down, it's pretty loose. There are a few things that need to be done cosmetically, like down in here, this little L bend that goes into the cylinder. Besides the fact that I'd need 2 crush gaskets, one here, one there, to do it. Pull this off, sand it. A buddy of mine's got some high heat paint that'll clean that up really nice. Yeah, so let's give her a start, let you hear it. Cold start, hasn't warmed up yet. It is chilly this morning. Now this is an air-cooled V-twin, and I do not have a temp gauge. All I've got is the oil pressure, neutral, blinker signal, check engine, and high beam. Got a lovely deep sound, as you can hear. Let her warm up a little bit. Now the shift lever, while I'm thinking about it, shift lever on this side is actually kind of high. I am going to have to lower that a little bit. Easier than you might think. And I was looking at the frame, and this is, besides the fact that it's shaft drive, this is a lot like a Harley frame. I mean, it is soft tail design. Let's see. Cosmetically, as far as defects, I've got one little minor dent right here, which is nothing. A few scratches in the paint, which are, again, nothing. The bags are a little bit worn, but that's okay. Once again, brake lever's going to have to be dropped down. Got some residue right here, and right here, and right here. Probably from where boots touched. The wrong bolt holding the lower muffler in place. And back to another subject. The oil filter, the relocation unit's about $300. The crush gasket for these things is about $5. So it's either take the pedal off, take the header off, replace the crush gasket, change the oil filter when I change the oil, or spend $300 for the oil filter relocation unit and save the headache of taking off the pedal, taking off the header, replacing the crush gasket. I don't see a verification for that, or justification, if you will prefer. Yeah. As far as plans for the bike, there's not many. I mean, a light bar would be nice. Maybe swapping the bulb in the headlight for an LED. Maybe some adjustable levers. I did remove the cruise control that was on it, just because, well, it was actually in the way of the start button. Got battery on this side, toolkit on the other side. Now, I'm not used to that. I'm used to my battery being on the other side and this side being the air cleaner. But in this one's case, it's right here. It will get cleaned up, polished, beautified, some modifications done to it. I'll probably end up swapping out the pegs for boards, both rear and front, because I do like to take my girlfriend with me. Luggage rack in the back, rear seats firm, front seats a little softer, but they are aftermarket. I won't know until I take them off whether or not they're leather or the vinyl. Other than that, I don't know if there's a whole lot more I can really do to it. I'm probably going to tip the bars back a little bit, so I'm not quite as stretched forward. I did take the windscreen off, and I think it looks a whole lot better without it. Now, I'm still not 100% sure on the mufflers. They are a nice deep tone. I could throw some Dunstall style mufflers on there, which would be 27 inches long, a little bit longer than these. But I have to make sure that they're right/left side so I can actually mount them correctly. Clutch pull on this is remarkably light. I mean, my shadow is actually kind of stiff by comparison, and it's hydraulic. It does have a little bit of a whine when it gets revved. Don't know if it can actually pick that up. But it's nothing bad. I don't see anything wrong with that at all. Beautiful. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'd much appreciate it. Ride safe, my brothers. Ciao.